Hello and welcome to another episode of Moments with Maxine. You know, today's episode, I'm at home and having fun and enjoying. And I will be having a guest with me today called Joy, who's going to educate us and bring awareness, letting us understand a little bit more about Black history, about the Black culture, as well as just diversity. And we will be focusing on Black culture, but at the same time, understanding for many of us who are Black, to just love and embrace that beauty that we have. I mean, I'm Black, I believe I'm beautiful, but at the same time, I want to be able to just have a different understanding about educating the young, to the teenagers, to the adults. But most of all, guys, just love who you are. You know, Joy, when she comes round, she'll be showing us some dolls and giving us a better understanding to how we can educate the young people, the kids, and doing this through many different avenues. But I cannot wait to hear what she's got to say, because even she's taught me so much. But at the same time, it's important that you should understand exactly where you're coming from, whatever race you are. We're going to take a short break and we'll see you shortly. Welcome back to Moments with Maxine. And if you wasn't watching earlier, I'm at home today and we will be talking with an amazing guest. Her name is Joy, and she will be letting us understand a little bit more about Black history, promoting diversity, as well as the Black culture. And I am really excited to meet her. So let's go to Joy. Hello, Joy. Hi. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate you coming down, and I know that you've got a lot of awareness to give to me as well as everyone else watching. So cool. Okay, now Joy, a little bit more about yourself. You're a mother of two.
I'm a wife, Pan-Africanist. I teach Black history.
Nice.
Promote Black business.
Yeah.
And I run 2 businesses online.
Awesome.
I'm very passionate about Black history, Black culture, Black empowerment.
Lovely.
And diversity.
Cool. Now, one thing I do really love about you is that, you know, you are very passionate. I mean, even our conversations that we've had, you've made it very clear that that people just need to embrace, you know, if you are, you know, we are focused on the Black culture. So it's important that people are aware that, you know, the Black race is something to embrace and is beautiful if you are a Black individual.
Yes.
Now, firstly, what brought you to this place where you have become so passionate? What brought you here? Because you wasn't born here.
No, I wasn't. I grew up in Africa. Okay. And even though I grew up in Africa, I did not know my history whatsoever. Nothing at all, even though I grew up in Africa. And I moved over to England in 2002.
Okay.
My husband is very much into Black history. So for years, he was saying to me, let me teach you about your history. And I literally used to say, I don't want to hear it, you know? And
But isn't that because maybe that we always stop in that place of the fact that Black people were just slaves, if you like?
Probably that's why I had a negative view to knowing my history.
Sure.
You know, and then
but we know that's not the case.
It's not the case. Not at all. Not at all.
That's what I mean. When you study and understand who you are, then we know.
Then you know more about who you are. And then slowly and surely he convinced me, and then I just started my journey on researching about Africa. Before slavery, during slavery, and after slavery.
Beautiful.
And I found so much information, and up to now I'm still researching, and it's just beautiful, empowering, and enlightening, and very exciting.
Yeah, and I think a lot more Black people are actually doing this. And the more you talk, because I know that when you even spoke to me, that you were quite surprised. Oh,
exactly.
Actually, there's somebody that looks like this. How come she knows? But the importance is, and you know, we have had this discussion. It's important you know about your culture. I think personally, because then you can move forward, you know, and you can move forward in your life. You can move forward with understanding your background, so you can push just that bit further from where we've actually come from. But at the same time, you know, we were kings and queens back in the day.
Oh yes, royalty.
You know. Okay. Now, people are aware of the fact of, you know, that obviously once upon a time many black people were slaves and coming from that. But what was happening before slavery times?
Before slavery, Africans, you know, they were very united. They worked together.
How long ago are we talking about as well?
We're talking years before slavery.
So we're talking about what?
We're talking 5,000 years ago. Africa, actually the name Africa itself is Greek.
Okay.
Africa was known as Kemet before.
Wow.
And before it being known as Kemet, it was known as Taseti. Okay. Before it being known as Taseti, it was known as Alkebulan.
Wow.
That is the original name for Africa.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And years ago, Africans worked together. They were very cooperated, which led them to being very organized as well. And then which led them to be able to...
So you're saying, just very briefly, but you're saying that there was civilization a long time way before that.
Yes, African civilization started years ago. And for example, in Egypt, 5,000 years ago, along the Nile, oh yes, we had our kings, our queens, we had order. You know, they were able to work together to invent things, to create a lot of different things that we have today. They come from Africa. Things like engineering, medicine, mathematics, different types of things like traffic lights, light bulbs.
Okay, so before you start going into that, you're basically saying that, and I kind of ask myself this, if whether people, young, old, whatever age, are actually aware that, you know, there are many black people that have been great inventors and things like that. I mean, tell us some of the things that they genuinely have created.
A lot of black inventions, and I believe it's very important for our children and for other people to know about it, because this will empower our children. It does, you know. So, you know, for example, mathematics, it's found in African prehistory. There's a maths object called Lebombo that was found in Swaziland in 35,000 BC. Right, that is where maths originates from. And as well, there's some scripts from Egypt that show division, fraction, subtraction. So really and truly, mathematics come from Africa. Then there's medicine as well. Treatment, the first treatment that was done was in Egypt, 2750 BC. Vaccination, brain surgery, C-sections, those come from Africa as well.
Wow. And are you telling me that there's literally hundreds and hundreds and, well, thousands?
Hundreds. There's speech from the sub-Saharan, architecture and engineering.
Incredible.
You know, the buildings, the pyramids, Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. No one has ever been able to work out how that was built. We find things like Great Zimbabwe in Zimbabwe, which is in the south of Africa. Those buildings, you know, it takes a lot of engineering and architecture. And Great Zimbabwe was built by the ancestors of the Shona in Zimbabwe. Law and religion, they come from Ethiopia. That's where they start from as well.
Okay, this sounds like we could go on here for quite a while. Okay. Now, I am going to ask, I mean, in our schools, for instance, I mean, you've got children, I've got children.
Yes.
Now, and obviously we are both coming from a black background, if you like, a black culture, background. But I mean, we are. I can only speak from my point of view, but even in our schools, we're normally just taught about the basics. That it kind of just goes back to slavery. Now, what we're trying to do here today is trying to basically promote the fact that there's different ways that young people can learn about their background, and it's not a negative thing or anything like that. It you know, this thing is a positive thing. It's a different way of doing it, which is how you do it anyway, which is basically through black dolls and books. Now, I know that there is a particular YouTube. I think it's on YouTube.
YouTube, yes.
But there's a particular kind of experiment.
Kenneth and Mamie Clark. They did an experiment in 1940.
Right. That's right.
Using a black doll and a white doll.
Yeah.
So basically, these dolls had the same features, but one was black and one was white.
Yeah.
So Dr. Kenneth Clark asked.
I remember it.
A lot of them were that really touched me. A lot of them were black children, and there were two dolls there. So he said, which doll is the prettiest? And the children picked the white doll. And then he said, which doll is good? And they picked the white one. Okay. And then he said, which doll is bad? They picked the black one.
Okay. Now, putting all that aside, because it's we're saying this in regards to teaching our young children that being of color is not a negative thing. It's a beautiful thing. And that's what I love about what your dolls have, you know, where it's got the kinky hair, it's got the dark skin, it's got the African attire, which is basically just taking it right back to you know, something that's nice, it's beautiful, they're bright, they're colorful, they're you know, and you know, at the same time, black people can actually have long hair too.
Oh yes.
It's just that when it's kicked up, it's kicked up. When it's straight up, it's long.
Exactly.
But it's important more than anything to love. I think more than anything, love yourself and show that love to your children. Now, I know that you do it. Through how you do it, through your dolls.
Yes.
I know that many people can do this through talking and different ways of doing it. But what would you recommend as even somebody watching this program? What would you recommend in order a good way to educate and teach your child to embrace appearance as well as their history?
We've got a lot of great black teachers out there, educators, and I would recommend parents to and their children to listen to our black scholars like Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. John Henry Clark. We've got books written by Maya Angelou. We have people like Dr. John Henry Clark. We have, there's so many black people doing stuff.
Got loads.
But one documentary that I highly recommend because it has a lot of good information on the origins of Africa. Beautiful. And it really breaks down the inventions. It breaks down how we are, where we are, why, when. That's Hidden Colors.
Nice.
Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
It's a good starting point.
Yeah, and thank you for sending me that
Very
too.
good.
I mean, I sit here as a black person. Yeah. I mean, do I look like I've embraced my my culture? Sorry. What would you have to say on that, Joy? Go ahead. Just
obviously, from my perspective, we do promote natural hair, curly hair. For example, I've got a daughter, so I'm teaching my daughter to love her natural beauty, to love her natural hair. Prior to me having my daughter, I didn't have natural hair, but when I had her, you know, my husband said to me, you are saying to your daughter, love yourself and love your natural hair, but you don't love yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I went on a journey where I transitioned to natural hair. And, you know, I believe that I have to lead by example. And if I want to teach young girls and young boys around the world to love their natural self, then I have to lead by example because natural hair is beautiful.
Yeah.
Everyone is beautiful. There's different shades of black and every shade is beautiful.
Okay, now coming from my perspective. No, you know the funniest thing? I think I've gone through phases in my life where you've done the natural thing, you've done the thing. I mean, I'm a creative individual and I just love creativity in regards to whether I'm wearing long hair, grey hair, black hair, red hair. I don't think it's ever taken away anything less of me being a black person. But anyway, Joy, we are going to take a break. Do not go away, because Joy is going to be staying with us, and she's going to be showing us some of her black dolls and her books, or rather, I'm going to correct that. Joy is going to be showing us some of her Afro-Caribbean dolls, because I think that that's basically just letting people know that it's not about so much, you know, African or whatever, this or that. It's just basically educating the Afro as well as Caribbean and every other race that is of colour.
And it's about other people also embracing our culture and learning about our culture, because, you know, we learn about different cultures, you know, we are interested, and we would like to encourage people to do that. You know, you have children from an English background, Asian background, they've got black friends.
That's right.
So it would be nice for little children as well to know about their friends' cultures and their backgrounds and their beliefs.
Beautiful. And I can honestly say that it's happening. You know, I was genuinely in the doctor's surgery, and I saw a beautiful, beautiful little white girl with a black princess doll.
Oh, wow.
And it did bless me, because it was unusual to see, but we know that it's happening.
That's amazing.
It's happening, you know, so let's not get too swayed that this thing isn't happening, because it's happening, and it will happen even more so
Amazing.
for you with your business.
Thank you.
Anyway, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Let's go and see what Joy's dolls look like. See you shortly. Hello and welcome back to Moments with Maxine. And as you can see, we are at home having fun, and I'm here today with Joy. And it's been such a privilege having you here. We are here with Joy's dolls, who she's going to explain a lot more about that. And something I have here.
Wow,
which,
that's beautiful.
Which me and my son made. And this was obviously based on Egypt. But more to the point, I'm just showing you that, you know, they are looking into different races and different cultures. So, you know, there is awareness.
That's good.
You know, it is something that's happening. They do also in schools celebrate Black History, as I know through our company, MDD. I know for a fact that we do a lot of drumming, a lot of storytelling, a lot of steel pan and that type of thing. So I know that it's something that's taking place.
Okay.
But obviously, I do not know if, you know, schools are actually, you know, bringing in Afro-Caribbean dolls rather, you know, into the school where they are embracing this, letting the kids play with them and things like that. But maybe it's something that, you know, that might be a part of your role, just bringing it out more into shops, bringing it out more into schools, bringing it out more into just the community full stop. Now tell me a little bit more anyway, Joy, because I'm just loving these dolls. They've become my friends.
I know.
And, you know, firstly, I mean, what's the names?
Okay, that's Malia.
Hi.
And that's Cleopatra.
Okay.
That's Shona and Ashanti.
Okay. Now, if we have a look at these carefully, they have the kinky hair.
Yes, kinky afro hair.
They have a dark complexion, or a darker complexion compared to many dolls. And at the same time, they are dressed in a particular attire, like an African attire. Now, is this something, are you aware of why they have to be dressed like this, or is it just something that you want to take us right back to the fact that they're Afro-Caribbean? There's kind of a real, you're kind of trying to show the viewers, or trying to show people that this is culture dolls.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Well, because when I was shopping around in different department stores, you know, even large department stores, I didn't come across any black dolls with Afro natural hair. So I saw a gap in the market and wanted to give the dolls outfits that will show that represent Africa, and the hair that looks like the Afro-Caribbean children, so they can see themselves in their toys, because children relate to their toys. And they learn a lot from playing with their toys. That's when, you know, they learn about themselves and about self-esteem, who they are, and who they represent. So
okay, now just hypothetically, could they not have been dressed in like a westernized fashion, jeans, trainers, you know?
well, our whole point was to promote the African culture, you know, because there's a gap there. But we wouldn't mind to put them in different clothes as well. It's about diversity, you know. At the same time, it's about promoting the culture, the African culture, the material, the hair, the skin color. You know, it's all about bringing Africa into people's homes. So the dolls are not just only for Afro-Caribbean children, also for white children, Asian children.
Lovely.
You know,
lovely.
they play,
Beautiful.
you know, white and Asian children play with black children.
Well, they're at school.
They play together, and it would be
at
nice,
school.
you know, because children relate to their toys. It would be nice if parents from different backgrounds also buy dolls for their children.
Of course.
So their children can learn about the culture, about their friends.
Of course,
you know.
of course. And that's the truth. That is definitely the truth of it. I mean, what you said that this one's Cleopatra. Tell us about Cleopatra.
Well, as I was picking the names, you know, my passion is in teaching Black history.
I do.
And I wanted the children to learn about history. So when I picked the names, I picked names that had a resemblance to Africa. For example, Cleopatra, I picked that name because the last female pharaoh from Egypt that ruled as a queen in Egypt, her name was Cleopatra.
Okay.
Yeah, Cleopatra took over Egypt when her father passed away. He gave her, she was ruling Egypt
ruling the kingdom
with her brother.
Yeah.
And then the brother tried to take away the kingdom from her, and he succeeded for a little while, and then she got help from Julius Caesar to take back Egypt. She was a very charming, very beautiful, and very intelligent
and very
queen.
strong. Come on now.
Oh yes, she did a lot of things. So that also goes with her story in the book, which we'll talk about later or now.
No, we're going to talk about that. But in fact, let's bring in these books because, in fact, let's hear a little bit more. This one.
Malia.
Yeah. What does
okay,
Malia mean?
Malia is a Swahili name that means queen.
Okay.
So I picked that name because I wanted children to know that they are beautiful, they are royalty. You know, we African women, some of them were queens before. And it will empower our girls to know that, you know, you can be anything.
Absolutely.
Because our mission statement for our dolls anyway is believe in yourself, believe in your natural self, you can do anything. So Malia is a Swahili name that means queen. And in her book there's more.
Okay, I'm going to come to these books very, very shortly, very shortly. And then we have the, what's the...
Then we've got Ashanti. Okay, Ashanti is a people from West Africa, Ghana.
I like Ashanti's outfit.
Ashanti, thank you.
And what about this one?
That's Shona. And Shona is a group of people from Zimbabwe, which is in the south of Africa. 80% of people there are Shona. And they've got 5 dialects known as the Karanga, Korekore, Zezuru, Ndau, and Manyika.
Nice.
Yes. So it derives from Zimbabwe, the name Shona, and it's about a people from the south of Africa.
Now, not only have you got where you sell your dolls online, you actually have books. You know, and what is incredible about these books, and I only just noticed this a little while ago as well, by the way, that the books actually have the same attire as the doll.
Yes.
And that goes for Cleopatra.
Yep.
As well. Now, this one, for instance, like you were saying earlier, where it says, "I love my natural self," Princess Cleopatra. What's inside this book? What can people, if they were buying this, what can they expect to get out of this book?
In this book about Cleopatra, like I told you before, Cleopatra was the last pharaoh, female pharaoh in Egypt. So Cleopatra is a story about a princess turning into a queen. And we've got Cleopatra, who loves reading books on Black history.
Sure.
And in the book, she's sharing knowledge with her friends, educating them on Black history, information about Africa years ago, 5,000 years ago, and things like that. And Cleopatra is a girl that is full of knowledge and wisdom and love, and she's spreading love, she's spreading unity among her friends, and it's a beautiful, interesting story where you see her touring Egypt and showing people different parts of Egypt. So the books are going to bring out Black history. They're going to teach little girls about empowerment, about self-love. They're going to teach them that you can be anything, and exciting.
You know, what I actually really like about these books as well, they are very colourful. You know, where you've got some of the pictures, I mean, I don't know if you can see this, guys, but the pictures are...
I like that. That was when Cleopatra was teaching her friends from England
about
when they went to visit them about natural hair.
Yeah, that's what I can see.
And
you can see
skin,
this.
you know, to educate on the diversity that we're talking about. So, yeah, she was doing that over there. She was teaching them about the natural hair.
Okay. So, is there always like a kind of moral at the end of the story?
Always.
Okay.
The ending is always showing that unity, you know, self-love, even reading and living your dreams. Your dreams can come true. You know, you can be anything. You believe in yourself, work hard, and you can achieve anything in this world. There's no limits.
You can be anything you want.
You can be anything.
Anything.
And love your natural self.
Yes, and love your natural self. Anyway, we got the next one.
Oh, Amalia.
Which is Amalia, as we said earlier. And once again, it's about loving my natural self. And yes, I do love my natural self all the way. Now, tell us about Malia. What can we expect to get out of this particular book, Malia?
Again, Malia is an African princess, and Malia is not just a princess. She is an entrepreneur too. So we're teaching our young girls through that book that, you know, you can be an entrepreneur, you can own your own business, you can start something.
So she's an entrepreneur.
Yes, and in this story, basically, her friend took her to a drama festival and an accident happened. So they had nowhere to do this nice festival where they were showcasing different African things at the festival.
Cool.
And she approached her dad and she asked him for some money to build a hall. And you know, the dad said to her, you're gonna have to raise half the money, you know. So this is a parent empowering their child, even though he could do it, but he wanted her to find a way of raising money at a young age. You know, which our children can do at any age. They can be anything.
And that's the truth of it. It's just giving them that belief, and that the truth is that it's real and it can happen.
Yes.
It really can happen.
And then Malia went on to raise the money for the drama festivals, and she was able to. So in this, we're showing our children that you can succeed if you put your all into whatever you're doing, you believe in it, and you work hard. You can be anything, and you will find history in there. We bring out some history. We mention different kings and queens, African areas. You know, there's 52 countries in Africa. There's a lot that can be said.
Incredible.
North, south, east, west. So we try and bring that into our books to teach our children and to teach other people as well about African culture and history.
Now, once again, you can see Joy's got some amazing pictures in her books, and I'm truly blessed even just looking at the whole thing.
Thank you.
And just what, as I said, what I love the most about it is that the clothes, everything matches up, the book, the clothes, and things like that. I love that. Well, Joy, I am definitely going to be purchasing some of these.
Amazing.
And getting involved with some of this.
Yes.
And at the same time, I am going to be loving and leaving you very shortly. Because we are coming to a close on Moments with Maxine. And I really do hope that you have enjoyed today's episode and that you're able to have just learned, even if it's one little thing. But most of all, which is so important, is it's that just embrace and love yourself, regardless of whatever ethnicity, background, culture, whatever you want to, however you want to, you know, put yourself, you know, love and enjoy who you are. You know what I mean? Just embrace who you are.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, until next time, viewers, enjoy and say bye-bye.
Bye.